Holy shit. This is war, baby. And somebody's gonna have to lose. Big time. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Man. Holy jeez. I have not experienced anything like that. Holy frioles. That thing pulls chain. My God. Oh my God. Aaron, so if you're watching this, I don't know how I'm going to release this video. I don't know if I'm going to release it. I'll probably release it today. I'm just too excited about it. I want to put it out there. It's freaking awesome. But the dealio is I thought maybe you'd want it. How often do you have a chance to have a saw that's built for a pipe that's built for your saw? This pipe, I got it from CPI, and it's actually built for this saw right here. Most of them that they are making, they're just for a 372. This is for a 372 big bore that's been ported. The ported part doesn't matter, but the 52 millimeter piston does. It'd work on Randy's saw too, but I rolled the dice. Thought maybe that you'd want it. If you don't want it, I get it. I understand, you know, and that cost will be absorbed by me, and I'll use it for my Shindao 757. However, it's there, and it's built for your saw. And it's not nearly as cumbersome as I thought that it would be. It's also not as loud as I thought it would be. I mean, it's loud, yeah. You don't want to run this thing without earplugs. I'm wearing earplugs. But just to have it for every now and then whenever somebody runs their mouth, you go, okay, buddy, all right. Slap this on your old 377 XP and, you know, put their money where their mouth is. It's a screamer now. Oh my God. And it's got torque. Jesus, that thing's awesome.
I mean, that's a shit chain, but we knew that. But you can't stop it.
She's a bad boy.
Yeah, she's turning that. She's turning that. That's a 36 too, and she's spinning it. I mean, spinning it. We're gonna pick up a new chain for her today.
Yeah.
So that tree's been down for 2 years.
And that's a big red oak?
Yep, been sitting here drying. It don't get any harder than that either.
Yeah. She runs, pulls chain.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
32 on there and a good chain that I got for it. I'd show you. But this, I'm telling you, this thing's harder than rock.
Dried pecan.
Yeah, you put a good chain on that, that thing's gonna be stupid. Like dumb.
Okay, y'all. So I know that some of you, not all of you, of course, but some of you have been really waiting for this video. You've been, wow, what happened to the piped 377 XP? Anyways, so there's a lot of stuff going on. I've been super busy in my life, and as well as the customer who wanted this saw. He's been super busy as well. Both of them. It's a partnership. Randy and Aaron, they own this company, and Randy right now is in North Carolina, so he didn't even get to run his 371. But you know, we've been trying to match up and get together to make this, but you know, it just doesn't always work out the way that we want it to. Anyways. So the reason I didn't show this sooner is because I felt like the saw was extremely impressive as you get from seeing me and my couple 10 to 15 times saying, holy shit. Yeah, it pulled so hard. I don't know that I have a single saw that pulls like that, and that's including my 3120 XP. It probably does. You know, to be fair, the 592 is very close as well, or does pull just as hard. But there was a lot going on, so let's cover it. First off, the wood was harder than many of you guys can imagine, unless you have had that before. The wood was so hard that what ended up happening, and I didn't even know this until after the fact, what ended up happening was probably within the first few cuts, the chain had dulled. And that is specific to me. That is my problem. If you watch the channel, you know that I'm really not that good at sharpening a chain. And I'm not, actually. It's like, what it is I tend to get in the gullet really hard, a lot, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I got this nice sharp point and everything is really great, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to cut like crazy. Well, what ends up happening, especially in a situation like this with really, really hard wood, is as soon as I started going into it, it just bent the tips of the cutters off. And, you know, I get them nice and sharp. They're like a cat's claw. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is my moment. This is the sharpest chain I've ever done. And then as soon as I use it, it's like, oh no. So I struggle with that. And I know it's there, and it's really commonplace for everybody to go, well, just fix it. Well, that's like telling a drug addict, just stop using drugs. They've got a problem. They're addicted to it. They can't just stop, you know, hey, just get off meth. Just get off of it. You know, it's a highly addictive substance. You know, a lot of y'all can't do it. but with me, with chains, I know in theory what to do, but getting it done, they're often, they're two different worlds. I try, and I'm getting better and better. I mean, I can still make a chain cut. It does well, but I have my problems. Plus, all three of those saws were running different chains. All three of them were running different chains. Not a single one of them was even the same type of chain, let alone the same brand, you know. But anyways, so the chain was a real problem, and it was digging in like crazy, and it didn't cut much faster, as you saw, than the other saws. So like, and another thing, the wood consistency kept changing. The more cuts that I made, the harder the wood got. So that Johnson Red, it ran in the softest part of the wood there was. You know, it was the first one to run. It ran the softest, and it actually had the better chain. It had the little baby teeth on it, and it was just cutting brilliantly, right? So, but the way it worked, the pipe saw beat the 371 by 2 seconds. The pipe saw beat itself, which is the 377 XP without a pipe, by 3 seconds. And then the pipe saw beat the Johnson Red by 5 seconds, a little bit more than 5 seconds. So that's how the breakdown worked, but none of this stuff is even remotely plausible as an actual competition. All three of the saws are running different chains. All three of the saws were cutting different density wood and different diameter. It kept changing. So that's why I was like, I don't know, I can't put this out. It's not a true, like, I can't show you really how that thing feels. That thing is a bull. It is a snorting bull, man. I mean, it's got power. And another thing that fails to get noticed in video is, you know, I built it because I know the customer. The customer is going to throw a 32-inch bar on there and it's going to camp out there indefinitely. So he's going to pull a long bar. That's who he is. I know there's a lot of people that was like, oh no, 20-inch bar on a 372 or maybe a 24. Neither one of those guys is going to run a short bar. You know, the shortest bar either of these two saws is probably ever going to see is a 28-inch bar. And that's just the way they run. And so, well, it'd be dumb for me to port for high RPM. So I tried to stick right with the pipe. Let's bring up the pipe. The pipe was specifically built for that saw, and I mentioned that, but that it just gets glossed over. Specifically, I asked for that pipe to peak. I wanted its peak power to be between 10 and 11,000 RPMs. Nailed it. Whenever it goes past that, it starts to fall off. All right? Its peak is somewhere in between 10 to 11,000 RPMs. Does that make it a fast cutting saw? Nope. Fast cutting saws are going to be up there 12, 13,000 RPMs in the cut. That's where they're going to be peaking in their power. But what it does is it makes for a bull in the China shop. That thing pulls. And whenever I brought it to Aaron, Randy was in North Carolina. Randy's got the truck that's got most of the saws and has got his 32-inch bar that he normally has on this saw. It's in that truck in North Carolina. So he scrounged around to see what he had. He had a 36-inch bar, and he grabbed that 36-inch chain that was actually in a junk pile that he had never intended on using again. So it sometimes it just doesn't work out, guys. It would be, that not everybody, of course, but a lot of the folks that are showing off their ported saw, very wisely of them, they have a razor sharp chain, and they're also quite often running in softwood. You've heard me say this before. And it just makes their saws look amazing. Well, that looks amazing. And they are. I'm not saying that they aren't. But what I'm saying is when you're seeing my shit, I think I've gotten pretty good at porting a saw. Okay? I got some good results. My customers are happy. It's really great, right? But I still suck at following a chain. I just do. I just do. And also, like, my choices of what to run the saw in is hardwood. and it just doesn't look as good as it does whenever you're sinking that into some nice soft wood, and you're able to take those rakers down lower because it's soft wood, and then you're throwing these big old chips and it looks great and they're shooting out really fast. There's a lot more to this than just porting the saw. Whenever people are showing off their ported saw, they're also doing other things that is making that saw just, wow, really look cool. And I need to get better at doing that, I know. But whenever Aaron had all 36 inches in dried up hard red oak, and he had his knee up in it, yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, doll chain or not. I mean, you're doing that stuff 36 inches deep, and you got your knee on it, trying to get that thing to bog down. He finally managed to do it in that hard pecan. Pecan is, especially dried, is, man, that stuff's hard. That stuff's like iron. It is definitely harder than red oak. I think it's harder than white oak as well. But yeah, he really digging it in there with his knee, getting it up, and I was very happy. It was a good morning. We ran that and everything. We talked about it a lot, and you did good whenever the customer is like, okay, here's 4 more saws. So yeah, he's happy. I'm happy. I hope y'all are happy and got to see some good, entertaining video. But that saw, I definitely plan on having it back once it's broken in. Aaron won't mind. He'll probably like it, But I want to bring it back here whenever I'm set up with a nice, good, fresh 14 by 14 cant so that I can actually do a whack off with it. But I got to throw this out there. It ain't going to be that fast. It's not. I didn't build it for speed. He didn't want speed. Neither one of them wanted speed. They wanted to be able to pull on it and it just dig in. And I feel like I really gave that to them. They worked good. And then there's still, boy, Aaron couldn't talk enough good stuff about the Echo 7310. He had another guy that works for him was there too, and they just both were like, that thing's amazing. And it is. It's a great saw. Great saw. What else? Yeah, another thing is I wanted to hold off on this video because if I just released this video with me talking about it, then it's very easily chalked up into, this guy's just bragging about his own saw, and, it doesn't look that fast to me, so I wanted Aaron to run it. I wanted his reaction on camera, and I wanted y'all to see what the customer actually feels about this saw. And yeah, he loves it. I'm very happy. I'm happy that I was able to provide a service, and it's cool. This stuff is fun. I'm still having fun doing it. Got a lot of folks out there. Eddie, I know that you want a 4620 from me. I got some stuff coming. You will be the first person that I holler at. I have 4 of those saws waiting to get new crank seals and ported up and the whole works and everything. And hopefully I'll be able to shell those out to the people that want some, and we'll get it all handled. But for now I've got to make some notes and do another video on the breakdown of what went wrong yesterday in felling that big pine tree. A lot of you guys have been really supportive and had a lot of good comments. Surprisingly, there's not that many douchebags out there leaving douchebag comments. There's a handful, not many though. Most people, yeah, this stuff happens. But there's still a lot of people that it's very odd to me that they don't understand you have to do this stuff to learn. And I don't want to get too much on that because I'll have a video coming out on that. But a lot of people, not a lot, some people, you know, they're saying things along the lines of, you shouldn't do that until you know more. I can understand someone throwing that comment out there. That comment is easily thrown out there by people who already have that knowledge. They are quick to forget how they got that knowledge. You get it by doing. That's it. There's no magic cure for this. A lot of people going, I find that Buck and Billy Ray has a lot of good videos on how to fell trees. Yeah, I know. Do you think that I'm not watching those? I've watched weeks worth of videos on how to fell trees. Weeks worth. You know, forget about hours. I've watched weeks worth of video footage trying to get better at this and learn and everything. I've read so many articles. If you watch this channel and you know me, you know that I'm a pretty sharp fella. All right, I am pretty smart. I don't think there's anybody that knows me that would say anything other than that guy's smart and on up. Okay, so I'm not a moron that can't pick up these concepts. But certain things, you ain't going to figure it out until you got your hand on that trigger and you are looking up at that tree and you are pounding those wedges and going, damn, it ain't moving. You know? Actual experience is what teaches us. And you know, yeah, preparation is great. That's what I've done. I've actually prepared as well as I can prepare. But it comes down to the brass tacks, and the brass tacks are, you have got to get a saw in your hand and drop trees. And I've dropped a lot of trees. I've probably dropped 100 trees, okay, of reasonable size. Anywhere from, I don't know, 10-inch tree up to 38-inch tree. This is the first time that it's ever actually went wrong on me. And this happens. Anyways, but that's enough of that. I hope you liked this video. I'm going to take some notes and see what I can, the breakdown of where felling that big pine actually went wrong. Yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Later, guys.